We're here in where ZJC meets. It's the indoor gym and track at the YMCA in Brookville, and I thought it'd be a perfect place to visualize and to raise this next discipleship principle that I want to look at. And to me, I was thinking back a little over 10 years ago. I had the opportunity to do an adventure, or not an adventure race, a triathlon. A triathlon is a swim, a bike, and then a run. And one of the things that stood out to me that day, and I spent 6, 7 months training, and when you're training, you're out there swimming in the ocean, or you're out there riding your bike by yourself, you and Jesus and nobody else, unless you're doing it with someone. But on race day, it's unique. And on race day, there are hordes and tons of people who are lined up along the race. And they are doing the very thing that you need, and that's encouraging you and saying, way to go, you're doing great, keep hanging there. And they're speaking words of encouragement, and it is amazing. I was amazed that day of race day how that empowered you to do and to race better than you could without those words. It encouraged you, it strengthened you, it enabled you to do better. And I think that principle, like in a marathon or in a race, the power of encouragement is the same thing in life. And we need encouragement. And as we're talking about growing disciples, grow disciples, this next principle that I want to look at is simply that. Encouragement, the power of encouragement, the power of affirmation, and how the relationship that you have with this disciple and disciplee or apprentice, or whatever words you want to describe them as, encouragement needs to flood that relationship. And as a discipler, you need to lead the way in that. Let me look at 2 verses that I think describe this. In Hebrews chapter 3, it says this. Hebrews 3, verse 13, but encourage one another daily, as long as it is called today, so that none of you may be hardened by sin's deceitfulness. Encourage one another daily. We need to do this daily, every day, just like you change your clothes every day, just like you eat meals every day, just like you breathe air every day. We need to be an encouragement to one another. We need to look for things to point out to say, you are doing well with that, and be real and be transparent with it. Don't lie to people. Don't flatter. Don't build them up with empty words, but build them up with words that are true and real, and point out those things. The writer of Hebrews says it a little bit in Hebrews 10, 24 and 25. He says this, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another. And all the more as you see the day approaching. The writer of Hebrews and God made it very clear that encouragement is so important to your walk with Jesus Christ. Without it, you will never continue on. You need it. You need other people doing the very thing what encouragement means. Encourage, to put courage, strength in other people. You know, what are some of the practical ways you do that? You can use that with words, verbal words, and saying positive, true things to people. It might be writing a note to someone, writing a postcard, writing it down actually on a piece of paper, sticking it in an envelope, or maybe sticking it in someone's car, or putting it in in their life, and putting a stamp on it, and writing those words down, that encouragement. It might mean sending a text or sending an email or on Facebook. I can't tell you how often I have a thought in my mind, and I fail because I don't get that thought about someone. They did this well, and I don't communicate that to them. And we need to encourage people. We need to communicate that. We need to give that encouragement, those words of courage to people. We need to be quick to point out the progress. In your discipling relationship, the discipler needs to lead the way in this to the disciplee. And you need to point out progress. Nobody is perfect, but you need to be saying things that, hey, no one has it together, no one's perfect, but you need to search for ways to affirm the progress, the movement, the forward movement in the relationship. And let me give you a couple examples. It might be that, hey, you decide that you're reading a chapter in Proverbs a day, and when you get together, and the person sits down and says, you know what, I didn't read every day, I read 5 days. Well, you need to encourage. Way to go. You read 5 days. That is great. What did you get out of that? Not point out and say, 5? You only did 5? What about the other 2? We need to point out the positive. They spent 5 days, and what did God teach you through those 5 days of reading or whatever it might be? You need to say things like, hey, I think it's great. No, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for taking time to meet with me, for taking time to meet, for putting this in your schedule as a priority, to invest in your relationship with Jesus Christ. The power of encouragement. I'd encourage you right now, as soon as this video is over, to go take a few steps. Write a text, write a note, write an email, call someone. Maybe God is putting someone in your mind right now that you need to pick up the phone and call and say, you know what? I thought about this all week, but I didn't communicate it to you. And I just want to tell you, you did a great job with blank, fill in the blank, whatever it is. But we need to be an encouragement to one another. Growing disciples grow disciples. One of the parts of that relationship is encouragement. This week, encourage daily, just like Hebrews 3 says. Daily, every day. Go and encourage and watch God bless you.